You're not who you were supposed to be. You wake up tired, hollow. You scroll. You escape. You make excuses. You feel weak. And worse, you know it. Women don't chase you. Men don't respect you. And deep down, you don't even respect yourself. You look in the mirror and see the ghost of a man. Software silent, afraid, but that version of you. The emotional, distracted, broken boy. He dies today. This is not motivation. This is execution. A funeral for the weak, a rebirth of the king. Picture this. A boy kneeling in the ruins of his own life, wrists wrapped in chains, tears mixing with ash. The sky is on fire behind him. From the smoke, he rises, eyes cold, voice silent, unbreakable, because strength isn't found in comfort. Power isn't born in praise. It's forged in solitude, in scars, in the flame. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This is your way now. 7 cold habits, 7 blades of discipline, 1 mission: kill the boy, become the king. If you're still watching, good. That means the fire's still burning inside you. But watching isn't enough. Type these 3 words right now. Let him die. Let the weak, emotional, distracted version of you burn. Right here, right now, in front of everyone. Make it public. Make it real. No more hiding. And if you're done living like a ghost, done with excuses, with scrolling, with begging for strength, then subscribe. Not for me, for you, for the man you were meant to become. This channel isn't for the average. It's for the few, the disciplined, the silent, the sharp, men who walk alone, men who build in the dark, men who don't need motivation, because they've become the storm. So write it now, let him die, and let the war begin. Look around you. Weakness is everywhere, and they call it normal. You've been taught to chase comfort, to express every emotion, to be soft, agreeable, addicted to pleasure. They told you to follow your heart, and now you're lost. They told you to be kind to yourself, and now you're lazy. They told you to open up, and now you bleed for people who don't care. You were lied to, and the cost, your fire, your focus, your power. You wake up distracted. Your phone controls your mind. Your feelings control your actions. Your past controls your future. You call it depression, heartbreak, anxiety. But what it really is, a man without discipline, a king without a crown, a sword left to rust in a world that desperately needs warriors. This is the war no one talks about. Not with guns, not with armies, but with comfort, with dopamine, with silence. And here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. There's no therapist, no girlfriend, no quick fix that will make you strong. Because strength isn't given. It's built in the dark, in the cold, alone. You don't rise by chance. You rise by choice. And you rise by killing the parts of you that keep you soft. The boy who needs validation. The boy who seeks pleasure. The boy who panics when he's alone. The boy who blames everyone else. He dies today. And the man, the one with steel in his spine, silence in his soul, and fire behind his eyes, he takes his place. That's where Stoicism comes in. This isn't about sitting on a rock and reading quotes. This is about becoming a weapon. It's about command, control, cold, brutal self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is endurable, then endure it." Stop complaining. That's it. That's the code. No whining, no crying, no softness, only discipline, only control, only forward. These 7 habits you're about to learn, they aren't tips, they are weapons. Each one is designed to kill the version of you that holds you back. They're not easy, they're not comforting. They will demand your pain, your time, your silence. But on the other side, a man who doesn't flinch, a man who doesn't chase, a man who doesn't need to be told what to do because he knows who he is. This video is not entertainment, it's initiation, a ritual, a blood oath. 7 cold habits, 7 laws of the Stoic King. Take them or stay the same. But know this, once you begin, there's no going back. Let's begin. You talk too much, and every time you open your mouth without purpose, you bleed power, you leak weakness, you destroy the mystery that should surround you like armor. Let's get one thing straight. Silence is not submission, it's control, it's command, it's discipline sharpened like a blade. You are raised in a world that rewards noise. Say something, post something, defend yourself, justify yourself, complain. But the man who can hold his words, who can sit in silence while the world burns around him, that man becomes dangerous because everyone else is addicted to being heard. You're going to become addicted to not needing to be. The boy talks to be seen. A boy enters a room and immediately speaks. He jokes too much. He overshares. He interrupts. He wants attention, laughs, approval. He talks to fill the silence because the silence terrifies him. But why? Because in silence, you have to face yourself. You have to confront the truth that you don't feel valuable unless someone's clapping, that you don't feel strong unless someone agrees with you, that you're still a child, hiding behind noise. And no woman respects a man who talks too much. She might laugh, she might pretend to like the attention, but deep down she feels what every person instinctively feels. If he can't control his tongue, he can't control his mind. The king observes. Now picture a man who walks in and says nothing. His eyes scan the room like a wolf. He speaks when he wants, not when he's expected to. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't justify. He doesn't over-explain. He's not cold. He's precise. Every word feels chosen. Every silence feels intentional. That man owns the room, not because he speaks loudly, but because his silence is louder than most men's noise. This is the man you're going to become. Why silence threatens? Weak men, most men fear being misunderstood. So they ramble, explain, defend. But the Stoic man welcomes being misunderstood. Why? Because he doesn't need to be understood. He knows who he is. His actions speak for him, and the moment you stop chasing clarity from others, you start building power inside yourself. Epictetus understood the code. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This isn't just a clever saying, it's a tactical weapon. When you speak, you reveal your mind. When you listen, you collect intelligence. Boys want to impress. Kings want to understand. Boys seek approval. Kings seek leverage. If you shut your mouth in most rooms, you'll learn how people think. You'll know what they fear, what they crave, and you'll never have to ask them for anything, because you'll already own the battlefield of their mind. Practical cold habits. Train the tongue. This is where it gets brutal. You're not just going to learn this, you're going to live it. 1. Speak 70% less for the next 30 days. This isn't a challenge, it's a purge. Catch yourself every time you're about to speak without reason, and don't. Watch the panic rise. Watch how addicted you are to being heard. Then kill it. 2. Replace reaction with breath. Someone offends you? Stay silent. Someone challenges you? Breathe. Don't respond, reclaim, because every reaction costs you power. 3. Cut small talk. It's weakness wrapped in fake smiles. You don't need to fill the air with useless noise. Silence is 10 times more commanding than forced friendliness. 4. Never explain what doesn't need explaining. People demand answers. Why didn't you reply? Why do you keep to yourself? You don't owe the world a monologue. You are not a product for public consumption. What happens when you master silence? At first, people will be uncomfortable. They'll accuse you of being cold, arrogant, distant. They'll test you, mock you, bait you. Don't flinch. This is the detox. You're killing the people-pleaser in you. Then something shifts. You'll walk into a room, and heads will turn. Not because you said something clever, but because they can feel the weight of your presence. They sense your silence like a force field. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what you'll say. And that mystery becomes your power. You become unpredictable. You become unreadable. You become unbreakable. The silent man is feared. Watch any true alpha. He doesn't waste breath. He doesn't argue with fools. He doesn't brag, beg, or broadcast his moves. He speaks, and the room listens. Not because of what he says, but because of how rarely he says it. Your words are currency. The rarer they are, the more valuable they become. This is why discipline begins in the mouth. You can train at the gym, you can read books, you can meditate, but if you can't control your tongue, you're still weak. Kill the boy, build the king. Here's the hard truth. If you still need to tell people how hard you work, if you still explain your silence, if you still can't sit in a conversation without dominating it, then the boy in you still rules your life. The boy who needs approval, the boy who fears being forgotten, the boy who hasn't learned how to command without shouting, he must die, and the way you kill him is with silence. You don't argue, you don't announce it, you just stop talking. You burn the weakness out with every moment you say nothing, with every room you walk into and observe instead of perform. How to speak like a king. Now don't mistake silence for passivity. A Stoic king speaks, but only with precision. When you speak, say less than you feel, speak slower than your thoughts. Project calm, not chaos. Drop your voice lower, slower. Speak to end things, not to prolong them. Every word you speak should have weight, not volume. Weight, and if your silence already has presence, then your words become prophecy. Final commands. Your ritual starts today. You're not allowed to speak freely anymore. Your tongue is now under command. You are now a man in control. Your voice is a weapon, and weapons are not toys. You'll feel the urge to break this. You'll want to explain, to joke, to fill the silence. Don't. Let it burn. Let it choke the weakness out of you. And as you build this, you'll notice something terrifying. People start fearing your silence more than your words. And that's when you know. You're no longer the boy begging to be heard. You've become the king they can't stop watching. Your comfort is your coffin. You think ease is the reward. You think comfort means success. But every second you chase comfort, you bury your discipline. You rot your edge. You kill the fire that could have made you a weapon. The modern man lives in a padded prison. Warm bed, warm food, warm feelings, but no edge, no steel, no war. You weren't made for comfort, you were made for combat. Soft men are manufactured, hard men are forged. Look at most men today. Slouched, addicted, complaining, glowing screens, fast food, loud music, weak minds. They've never suffered in silence, never walked into a storm alone, never done anything uncomfortable without quitting halfway. That's why they're ghosts. You can see their soul has evaporated. Because here's the law. If you avoid discomfort, you avoid greatness. Every Stoic king knew this. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." You want to shine like a gem, then get ready for the grind, for the friction, for the fire. Comfort kills the warrior instinct. You were born with fire in your bones, but every convenience you consume smothers that flame. Comfort makes you predictable, software, lazy, bored. You think you're depressed? You're not. You're understimulated by challenge and overstimulated by comfort. You've never seen what you're capable of, because you've never suffered long enough to wake it up. The fire teaches what comfort Hides pain is a teacher. Discomfort is the classroom. Every cold shower, every fasted morning, every 5 a.m., run every rep when your muscles scream. Every lonely night in silence is not torture. It's training. You're teaching your nervous system. I don't obey comfort. I command myself, and that voice inside that says, let's skip it. Let's stay in bed. Let's do it later. That voice is the boy. You don't negotiate with him, you execute him. Practical cold habits, rituals that burn the softness out. These are not suggestions. These are daily rituals that set men apart from boys. 1. Cold showers. Daily. Yes, you'll hate it. That's the point. The boy says, it's uncomfortable. The king says, good, let it hurt. Stand in freezing water. Breathe through the panic. Don't flinch. Don't scream. Just stand. Still, calm, commanding. 2. Wake up when you don't want to, not for productivity, not for a morning routine, but because every time you do something your body resists, you build inner command. The alarm rings. Your mind begs you to sleep. You get up anyway. That's a silent battle won before the world even opens its eyes. 3rd, discipline over motivation. Never wait to feel ready. You train, work, move, regardless of mood. Because mood is for boys. Command is for kings. 4. Fast once a week. Go without food. Let your stomach scream. You'll learn that you don't die. You'll learn how much of your fear is mental noise. You'll discover your body doesn't command you. You command it. Why most men will never do this? Because it's hard. Because it's quiet. Because no one claps for it. There's no applause for freezing in a cold shower. There's no Instagram story for fasting. No girlfriend cheering when you get up at 4:30 a.m. in silence. It's you versus you. And that's why most men fail. They only train when someone's watching. But kings train in the dark. The fire reveals what you are. You think strength is shown when you're comfortable. Number. It's shown in the storm, when you're cold, tired, alone, and you still keep going. When you don't want to lift, but you lift anyway. When you don't want to write, but you write anyway. When you don't want to be alone, but you sit in the silence and breathe through it. That's power. That's mastery. That's the fire turning your flesh into armor. Chase what hurts you, yes. You read that right. Chase what hurts you, because weakness runs from pain, but greatness hunts it down, not recklessly, with purpose. You run into discomfort not to suffer, but to dominate it, to look it in the eye and say, I've been waiting for you. Replace comfort with challenge. You don't need to go to war. You don't need to climb Everest. You need to destroy the small comforts that are slowly killing your edge. Replace soft pillows with cold iron discipline. Replace social media with solitude. Replace sugar highs with silence. Replace comfort, food with controlled fasting. Replace easy wins with earned scars. You don't need more ease. You need more friction, because the boy wants comfort. The king wants war. When you live in fire, the world can't burn you. Men who live soft lives break. One breakup, one insult, one failure, and they spiral. But a man who trains in fire, he's immune. He doesn't flinch at cold water. He doesn't cry from hunger. He doesn't panic in solitude, because he's lived there and he knows, this doesn't break me. It builds me. The fire becomes home. At first, it hurts. You'll shake. You'll hate it. You'll want to run back to softness. Don't. Stay. Let it burn you clean. Let the fire burn out the lazy, the victim, the excuse maker, the soft, whimpering version of you that's been holding the crown hostage. Eventually, you'll notice something strange. You'll crave discomfort. You'll feel restless without it, because the fire has become home. And that's when you know you've become forged, tempered, cold and clear. Final orders: burn or stay the same. This chapter isn't advice. It's a ritual of destruction. You're going to burn the softness out of your life, one habit at a time. Not because it's trendy, not because it feels good, because it's necessary. Your softness is your prison, your comfort is your curse. You're not here to live easy, you're here to become fire. So here's what you do. Cold shower. Today. No excuses. Wake up before your comfort kicks in. Remove one comfort from your life and replace it with pain. No warning, no delay, just fire. Because only one of you survives this. The boy who fears the flame, or the king who is forged in it. Stop looking in the mirror for confidence. Start looking for truth. You want power. You want clarity. You want to kill the parts of you that sabotage your life. Then go to war in the mirror. Not the bathroom mirror. The mirror of brutal self-reflection. The one that doesn't lie. The one that doesn't care how you feel. The one that shows you everything you're too afraid to admit. This is the mirror that builds men. And it doesn't flatter you. It confronts you. You are the enemy. Look at your life right now. Not how it looks on Instagram. Not how you explain it to your friends. The truth, your body, your bank account, your habits, your circle, your results. All of it is your fault. Every excuse you made, every time you hit snooze, every time you picked pleasure over progress, every moment you lied to yourself to feel okay. That version of you is the enemy. And if you don't learn how to kill him daily, he will kill your dreams slowly. Why most men never evolve? Because self-honesty hurts. Because journaling failures feels like failure. Because reflection makes you see what you've been avoiding. So what do they do instead? They scroll, they drink, they cope, they lie. And the worst lie. I'm doing my best. You're not. You're doing what's comfortable, not what's necessary. The Stoic law, audit yourself. Like a warrior, Marcus Aurelius didn't journal to feel inspired. He journaled to hold himself accountable, to rip apart his own ego and track his own soul. He said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." You want to become a Stoic king? Then stop explaining and start auditing. Your new weapon. Brutal self-reflection. Here's how you master the mirror. Step 1. The nightly war log. Every night, open your journal. No fluff, no poetic quotes. Just war. Ask, where was I weak today? What did I avoid? What lie did I tell? What emotion controlled me? What would a king have done differently? Don't write for praise. Write like a killer, writing down his targets. Be cold. Be exact. Be ruthless. Step 2. Morning clarity drill. Before your day begins, write 3 sentences. Who I refuse to be today. The battle I will face. The weapon I will use. Discipline, silence, discomfort, etc. You are programming your mind before the enemy strikes. You're building intentional consciousness. You're no longer reacting. You're leading. Step 3. Weekly execution review. Every 7 days, sit in silence and look at your week. Ask, what did I build? What did I destroy? Where did I fold? Where did I conquer? Rank yourself. Don't lie. 1 to 10. Warrior to weakling. No middle ground. And then decide, do I keep walking this path, or do I start again sharper? Kill the man you lie to. Here's the darkest truth. You've lied to yourself so much. You no longer trust yourself. That's why you set goals and break them. That's why you talk about change but don't move. That's why you start strong and disappear. Because the boy in you still believes comfort is safety. Because the man in you hasn't earned back his own trust. This mirror kills the liar, and until you confront him, you stay him. The mirror shows your patterns. Every man has patterns, and your results are just a reflection of the ones you've tolerated. You overeat when you're sad. You skip workouts when you're tired. You chase validation when you feel lonely. You scroll when you should build. You escape when it's time to fight. Once is a mistake. Twice is a pattern. 3 times, that's your character. You need to start tracking patterns like a sniper. Zero emotion, all data. Every weakness has a time, a trigger, and a voice. Expose it, break it, replace it. You, Proses, the man you could be. Sit down. Close your eyes. Visualize the man you could be in 6 months. Shredded body, laser focus, cold control, moving in silence, leading your life. No weakness, no begging, no chaos. Then open your eyes and ask, why am I not him yet? The answer is always the same. Because I tolerate too much from myself. You say yes when you should say no. You rest when you should suffer. You lie when you should confront. You scroll when you should move. You are the problem, and that is the most liberating truth in the world. Because if you are the problem, you are also the solution. X is the final obstacle. You think you're already disciplined? Good. Prove it again tomorrow. You think you're tough? Test it in solitude. You think you've healed? Face your triggers and stand still. The ego loves titles. Stoic, warrior, alpha. But none of that matters when the mirror asks, what did you build this week? And you have no answer. Drop the titles. Drop the posturing. Be brutally real, because the only label that matters is the one your actions assign you when no one's watching. Final orders. Mirror. Pen. War. From today, your journal isn't a diary. It's a battle log. Nightly war logs, morning clarity drills, weekly execution audits. This is your system now, and if you skip it, you lose clarity. And without clarity, you become a blind man swinging in the dark. But if you commit to it, day after day, you'll see something terrifying. You are never weak. You are just unaware. And now, the mirror makes you see. See the softness. See the lies. See the beast you buried under distractions. And once you see it, you can unleash it. So grab the pen. Kill the old version. Write the new one in blood and truth. No one's coming to tell you who you are. Be the one who walks into the mirror and walks out a king. If you fear being alone, you'll never become anything powerful. You'll chase people. You'll crave attention. You'll surround yourself with noise, hoping it drowns out the silence inside you. But the silence is not your enemy. The silence is your forge. You don't become a Stoic king by standing in a crowd. You become one by standing alone, unshaken, untouchable, unafraid. Boys need the crowd. Boys chase circles. They need the group. They crave validation. They post for likes, speak for applause, and fear being forgotten. They spend their lives running from solitude, because solitude is the mirror that never turns away. It shows them who they are, without filters, without attention, without noise. And most men are too weak to face that, so they hide in girlfriends, parties, scrolling, gossip, meaningless noise, and they call it socializing. But what it really is, escapism, because if they sit alone, even for an hour, their demons wake up, their truth crawls back in, and they don't know what to do with it. Kings walk alone. A king does not fear solitude. He seeks it, because in solitude, he finds his mind. In solitude, he sharpens his focus. In solitude, he builds what the crowd could never give him, unbreakable independence. He walks alone, not because he's antisocial, but because he commands himself. He doesn't need attention. He doesn't need reassurance. He doesn't need noise. His strength is internal. His silence is divine. Seneca said, "The greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach." But most men never find those blessings, because they're never quiet enough to reach them. Solitude is a mirror and a weapon. When you learn to sit with yourself, really sit without distraction, you meet your true self. And he's not as noble as you thought. You see the insecurity, the weakness, the thoughts you pretend aren't there, the pain you never processed, the addictions you hide behind. But you also see something else, potential. Underneath all the chaos, there's a king sleeping inside you, and solitude is the place he wakes up. Your attention is being hijacked. Every app, every sound, every meaningless conversation, every cheap dopamine hit. It's all a system designed to rob you of your greatness by robbing you of your solitude. Because if they keep you distracted, you'll never stop and ask, who am I really? What do I believe? What should I be building? And men who don't ask those questions stay boys forever. The painful truth of solitude. Solitude is not romantic at first. At first, it hurts. It feels empty. You feel lost. Your phone itches in your hand. Your thoughts scream for distraction. You feel insignificant. Good. That's the detox. That's your nervous system panicking. Because it knows you're cutting off its drug. Keep going. Sit longer. Breathe slower. Let the panic burn through you. Eventually, that noise dies, and you hear something else. Clarity. You start to see your mind, how reactive it is, how addicted it is, how much power you've given away. And then you reclaim it, one breath at a time. Practical cold habits. Build the fortress of one. Here's how you weaponize solitude. 1. Sit in silence 30 minutes daily. No stimulation, no music, no phone, no scrolling, just you versus you. Let your thoughts scream. Let your discomfort rise. Then sit through it like a statue. No reaction, no escape, just presence. You are now training presence like a muscle. 2. Do one hard thing alone. Every week, train alone, hike alone, eat alone. Do something that most men can't do without company. You'll feel like a ghost at first, invisible. But soon, you'll feel like a god walking in shadows. 3. Social fasting. Pick 1 to 2 days each week. No calls, no texts, no posts. Let people wonder where you are, while you build, while you reflect, while you get dangerous in the dark. 4. Stop explaining yourself. You don't need to justify your solitude. Silence doesn't need permission. You don't owe anyone access to your energy. What happens when you walk alone? At first, you lose people. You confuse them. They say you've changed. They say you've become distant. Good. Because distance is power, and solitude is your kingdom. You'll lose followers, friends, lovers, but you'll gain yourself, and the man who owns himself owns the world. When the world comes knocking. Here's the paradox. When you stop chasing attention, it starts chasing you. When you master solitude, people start craving your presence, because your energy is rare, your silence is powerful, your detachment makes you magnetic. The stoic man who walks alone becomes the man others follow. Not because he asked, but because he became worthy of being followed. Solitude doesn't mean isolation. Don't twist the lesson. Solitude is not isolation. It's not hating people. It's not becoming a hermit. It's becoming self-sufficient. You can be around others. You can love deeply. You can lead. But you're not dependent on anyone for your peace, clarity, or power. You walk with people, but not because of people. Alone time is God time. The ancient warriors understood this. So did the Stoics. So do the rare few who build in silence today. You enter solitude not to escape the world, but to train for it. You go into the cave so you can emerge with fire. You go into the silence so you can command noise. You walk alone so that when the time comes, you don't just join the war. You lead it. Final orders. Cut the noise. Find the king. From today forward, you will protect your solitude like sacred ground. No more meaningless conversations. No more scrolling in silence. No more fearing your own thoughts. You will sit, you will write, you will breathe, you will walk alone. And when the world asks where you've been, you won't answer. You'll show them with your results, with your calm, with your edge. Because solitude isn't weakness, it's the birthplace of greatness. And if you can't walk alone, you'll never walk like a king. Your emotions are not your truth. They're just noise. Temporary, unstable, loud. And if you obey them, they will ruin your life. You'll chase what feels good instead of what is right. You'll speak when you should stay silent. You'll rage when you should remain still. You'll run when you should fight. The difference between a boy and a Stoic king: the boy reacts. The king calculates. Feelings are liars. You feel tired, so you skip the gym. You feel angry, so you destroy your relationship. You feel lonely, so you crawl back to someone who hurt you. You feel anxious, so you stop taking action. Look around. That's how most men live. Ruled by emotion, controlled by reaction, puppets of their own moods. But you are not most men. You are going to break the chain, not by becoming emotionless, but by becoming unshakable. Emotion is fire. Logic is the blade. A Stoic doesn't deny his emotions. He disciplines them. He watches them rise like fire, then chooses whether to act or wait. He knows that one wrong move in one emotional moment can destroy what took years to build. That's why he operates from cold logic. He doesn't scream. He doesn't beg. He doesn't collapse into his feelings. He observes. He calculates. He executes. Marcus Aurelius understood this. He ruled an empire while facing betrayal, death, war, and loss. And yet he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not poetry. That's armor. You can't control heartbreak. You can't control what people say. You can't control the storm, but you can control the helm. Your mind is your weapon. Your emotions are weather. The Stoic king navigates no matter the chaos. The boy panics. The king plans. You get bad news. The boy explodes. You get insulted. The boy defends. You get ghosted. The boy begs. The boy needs closure, needs answers, needs to express everything he feels. But the king, he doesn't beg. He doesn't explain. He doesn't need a talk. He calculates the next move. He lets the silence speak. He lets time reveal the truth. He stays calm in the storm, because he isn't the storm. Emotional control is the final discipline. You can master your body, your routines, your schedule. But if your feelings still own you, you're still a slave. Your emotions will rise like waves. Let them rise. Just don't drown in them. Learn to feel everything without reacting to anything. That is the mark of a man who is mentally free. Practical cold habits train the inner fortress. 1. Create a 60-second rule. When emotion rises, don't speak, don't text, don't move. Wait, breathe. Let the heat pass. If it's still worth saying after 60 seconds of silence, say it with precision. If not, let it die. 2. Journal emotion. Before you express it, before you send that message or rant to someone, write it down. See it. Analyze it. Ask, is this me, or the emotional version of me? You'll save your reputation, your relationships, your peace. 3. Use cold showers as emotion drills. The water hits you, panic rises, but you stay calm. You breathe through chaos. That habit transfers to real life. Cold showers teach you that your first feeling doesn't have to control your next move. 4. Name the feeling, then name the response. I feel anger. I will remain silent. I feel fear. I will still act. I feel rejected. I will not chase. I feel betrayed. I will not retaliate. Naming gives distance. Distance gives power. Power gives control. The dangers of emotional living. If you live by feelings, you'll keep making permanent decisions based on temporary emotion. You'll quit the job you were built for. You'll insult the woman you loved. You'll walk away from the opportunity that scared you. And then you'll sit in the ashes, wondering why your life is in ruins. Emotion is a spark. Logic is the hand that decides whether to light the fire or let it burn out. Be the hand, not the flame. The power of emotional apathy. A man who controls his emotions becomes terrifying to those who don't. You don't flinch. You don't overreact. You don't beg. You don't need closure. You just move like a shadow with a plan. You become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. You become unreadable, and unreadability is leverage. Logic doesn't mean loveless. This isn't about being a robot. This is about being dangerous in control. You can love with logic. You can grieve with composure. You can hurt without collapsing. Emotional control doesn't kill your humanity. It refines it. You don't become less feeling. You become less enslaved. You stop oversharing. Stop over-explaining. Stop using emotion to justify weakness. Final orders. Kill the reactor. Build the calculator. From today, you are done being reactive. You don't get angry. You strategize. You don't get sad. You sharpen. You don't chase chaos. You build in the silence it leaves behind. You are now a man who responds with cold logic. You don't scream. You don't beg. You don't spiral. You pause. You breathe. You act with precision. Because your emotions are visitors, and your mind is a kingdom, and the king never kneels to passing guests. You keep saying you've changed, but you still act like him, talk like him, think like him, feel like him. You're not reborn, you're just rebranded. You want to evolve? You want to become a king? Then understand this truth. You must go full no contact with the man you used to be. Not a text, not a thought, not a trace. He dies, and you never speak to him again. You are your old habits. Look closely. It's not the world holding you back. It's the rituals of the man you used to be. The one who hit snooze. The one who begged for closure. The one who lied to feel okay. The one who chased pleasure. The one who broke promises to himself. He's the one ruining your life. And as long as you leave the door cracked open, he will crawl back in. Evolution requires execution. You can't transform by keeping one foot in the past. You can't rebuild while still feeding the ghosts of who you were. Change isn't a new goal. It's a funeral. You don't become someone new by adding. You become someone new by killing. Killing the boy who breaks discipline. Killing the coward who avoids pain. Killing the version of you who still needs approval. You bury him in silence. You cut him off like a traitor. Because he is. Epictetus understood this brutality. He said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Not hope, not wish, not speak it into existence. Do what you have to do. That includes cutting off the parts of you that feel like home, but keep you broke, weak, and distracted. Signs you're still in contact with the old. You still explain your decisions. You still avoid the hard choices. You still sabotage momentum with guilt. You still over-apologize for becoming cold. You still relapse into your old coping mechanisms when no one's watching. These aren't accidents. They're attachments, strings pulling you back to the grave you already climbed out of. Cut them. Now the cold ritual. Burn the bridges. You need to make war on your own history. 1. Write his obituary. Describe the man you used to be. Be detailed. Expose him, then write. I no longer know this man. He is dead to me. And every time he shows up in your mind, repeat it, out loud, until he fades. 2. Change your language. Stop saying I've always been like this. Stop saying that's just who I am. That version is gone. Start saying that's who I was, not who I am. Words are spells. Stop casting old ones. 3. Eliminate triggers. Music, people, apps, environments. Kill anything that revives him. That song you listen to when you spiral? Gone. That friend who pulls you back into chaos? Gone. That playlist you use during your weekdays? Delete it. This is surgical self-respect. 4. Create a new signature move. Pick one action, the old you never did, and make it your ritual. Cold showers, early wake-ups, no phone until noon. Reading 20 pages daily, something that screams, "He's dead, I've replaced him." The power of becoming unrecognizable. One day, someone will say, "You've changed." Don't explain, don't justify, just smile. Because they're not supposed to recognize you. The man you are becoming should look nothing like the man you were. You should move differently. Speak with weight, dress with clarity. Make decisions with silence. Everything about you should whisper, "I buried him." You're talking to someone else now. You don't owe the past an explanation. You'll feel guilt. That's the trap. That's the old you trying to stay alive through nostalgia and emotion. Let him die in silence. Don't announce your evolution. Don't ask for applause. Don't warn people you're changing. Change in the shadows. And let your absence haunt everything you walked away from. Your mind is the final battlefield. Even after the body changes, even after the habits shift, the real war is internal. It's that moment in silence when the old thoughts crawl back in, the old pain, the old dreams, the old language. And in that moment, you say one thing: "I don't know that man anymore." That phrase becomes your weapon. You say it every time guilt rises, every time weakness knocks, every time the old you tries to climb out of the coffin you built for him. Becoming a stranger to your past. The old you had comfort spots, familiar foods, old love songs, dopamine loops, late-night rituals of self-destruction. You don't indulge them anymore. Not even once. Because once becomes always. Instead, you live like a ghost of your former self, unreachable, untouchable. You're not trying to forget the past. You're burying it with intention, so deep it can't resurrect. You don't heal by remembering. You heal by replacing. Stop looking for closure. Stop digging up trauma. Stop trying to make peace with a version of you that needs to stay dead. You don't rebuild by fixing what's broken. You rebuild by becoming someone who would never break the same way again. That's the only closure you need. Final orders. Burn the blueprints. You are not here to fix your old self. You are here to replace him. You are not here to walk beside your past. You are here to walk away and never look back. Write his name. Burn the paper. Speak the ritual. I don't know that man anymore. Then act like it. Walk like it. Build like it. No contact, no comfort, no mercy. He dies. You rise. Let's make this simple. You either live by discipline, or you die by regret. There is no third path. No balance, no try my best middle ground. Every day you skip your duty, every time you choose comfort, every time you say, "I'll do it later." You're building a future that will haunt you. Regret isn't loud, it's silent. It creeps in when you're alone. It whispers when you look in the mirror and see the man you could have been, but chose not to become. The discipline equation. Discipline is pain now. Freedom later. Regret is freedom now. Pain forever. You know this. You felt it. You skipped the workout and hated yourself after. You stayed in bed and carried guilt all day. You broke your streak and spiraled again. But when you did show up, when you did do the hard thing, even when it sucked, you stood taller. You respected yourself. That's not coincidence. That's the law. Regret is a slow suicide. It doesn't kill you all at once. It kills your confidence, your energy, your edge, piece by piece. Every unmade decision, every excuse, every small betrayal of your own potential, they add up, until one day, you wake up a stranger to yourself. And worse, you know you chose this. Men who wait. Decay. Seneca said, "While we wait for life, life passes. Understand this. You don't have time. You don't have next year. You don't even have tomorrow guaranteed. You want to rebuild? You want the crown? You want to look back with pride, not pain? Then stop waiting. Every day you delay the hard thing, another piece of you dies. What discipline really is? It's not willpower. It's not motivation. It's not doing your best. Discipline is war. It's doing what you said you would do. When every part of you is screaming to quit, it's walking into discomfort like a soldier walks into battle. No permission, no softness, no negotiation. It's treating your routine like a ritual. Sacred, unbreakable, sharp. Boys wait for motivation. Kings move without it. That's the difference. The boy scrolls to feel inspired. The man builds while uninspired. The boy needs music, mood, support. The king moves with silence in his ears and chaos at his back. Because discipline isn't about how you feel. It's about what you do regardless of how you feel. Practical cold habits. Build discipline like a weapon. 1. Ritualize everything important. Same wake-up time. Same morning order. Same training schedule. Same work blocks. Remove "should I," replace it with "I will." 2. Make discipline visible. Track your streaks. Cross off your goals. See the warpath stacking behind you. Make your effort undeniable. 3. Have a non-negotiable minimum. You don't need to feel 100%. You don't need the perfect mood, but you do something every day, even if it's 1 rep, 1 page, 1 cold shower. Momentum matters more than motivation. 4. Eliminate options that weaken you. If it tempts you, remove it. Snacks, notifications, people. Discipline isn't just doing the right thing. It's removing the things that make the wrong thing easy. There are no rest days. From discipline, you don't take a break from being who you said you'd become. You don't rest from honor. You don't pause from your mission. That doesn't mean burnout. That means structure. That means you rest with purpose, not as escape. Even on recovery days, you show up to breathe, to write, to stretch, to reflect. Kings don't disappear. They adjust without breaking. Your discipline must outlast your feelings. Because your feelings are soft, your vision is not. Your feelings are fog. Your discipline is fire, and fire clears everything in its path. You don't get to stop. You don't get to coast. You don't get to hope. You build, day after, ruthless day, until discipline isn't something you do. It's something you are. Regret will visit you one day at 2 a.m. or on your deathbed, or when you see someone else living the life you are capable of, but didn't fight for. You will remember every excuse, every easy choice, every time you said tomorrow. You will feel it in your chest. That heavy, silent truth. It could have been me. Don't let that be your story. Discipline is not a trait. It's a decision. It's built through reps, through battle, through blood and boredom. It's not glamorous. It's not aesthetic. It's grinding in the dark while the world sleeps. It's standing alone and not flinching. And every day you choose it. You move further away from regret and closer to a life that means something. Final orders. Pick your pain. This chapter ends with a decision. You either live by discipline, wake up early, train when tired, work when bored, build when unseen, or you live by regret. Forever haunted by the man you could have been if you just kept your word. You pick your pain. There's no escape. Let the soft men chase dopamine. Let them sleep in. Let them fade into the fog. Not you. You'll wake up with fire. You'll do the hard thing. Without applause. You'll suffer in silence and smile through it. Because you know the truth. The pain of discipline builds you. The pain of regret buries you. Choose wisely. You've seen him clearly now. The weak version of you. The one who ran from pain, who chased comfort, who begged for love, who reacted emotionally, who feared solitude, who lied to himself every single day. He dies here. Because you've been handed the code. 7 cold habits. 7 ruthless weapons. 7 brutal truths that don't just motivate you. They destroy who you used to be. You've learned how to cut your tongue, to hold your silence like a sword, to stop bleeding power with useless noise. You've stepped into the fire. You no longer run from discomfort. You seek it, because you know that pain is where power is born. You've faced the mirror. You no longer lie to yourself. You write the truth. You audit your soul daily like a man building a kingdom brick by brutal brick. You've walked alone. You no longer fear silence. You no longer chase attention. You found your edge in the shadows and sharpened it there. You've chosen cold logic. You're no longer a slave to feeling. You don't react, you respond. Your mind now rules, not your moods. You've cut off the old you, not in theory, not in talk, but in action. No contact, no comfort, no relapse. He's buried, and you walk away. You've vowed to live by discipline, not motivation, not emotion, but warlike discipline, the kind that builds gods while others sleep. And now, you don't need applause. You don't need anyone to see you, because you've already seen yourself, clearly, coldly, completely. You know the truth, and that truth is this. You are not done. You are reborn, and you are just getting started. There will be days you want to quit. Good. Let them come. You will not flinch. You will not scroll. You will not spiral. Because now you carry the habits of a Stoic king. Daily, quietly, relentlessly. You don't chase attention, you command energy. You don't react, you calculate. You don't break, you build. No matter how cold, no matter how alone, no matter how hard. So here is your final command. Do not explain, do not look back, do not slow down. The boy is dead, let them bury him. You walk forward now. Cold, focused, sharp. You've become the man they can't shake. They can't read, they can't break, and most of all, the man they'll regret underestimating. The fire is yours now. Use it.